Hey, welcome to today's show. We're going to be discussing a topic that's been on the minds of many people around the world, and that's the government trust, or rather, the lack of it. It's no secret that governments all around the world have been facing increased levels of scrutiny and distrust from its citizens. Whether it's corruption scandals, broken promises, perceived overreach, many people have become disillusioned with their leaders and the institutions that they govern. Now, it's important to note that we're not here to take sides. We're not here to engage in political misjudging or misleading anyone. Instead, we're going to explore the underlying reasons why too much government is a bad thing. As we see it here in the United States, it's eroding the public trust. At its core, the issue is one of balance. A well-functioning government is essential for ensuring the safety, prosperity, and well-being of its citizens. However, when government becomes too big, too intrusive, or too corrupt, it can actually do more harm than good. For one thing, an overbearing government can stifle innovation and creativity as individuals and businesses become bogged down in red tape and bureaucracy. We see that and we deal with that every single day, especially here in the United States. It can also lead to a loss of personal freedoms and liberties as the government seeks to exert control over every aspect of its citizens' lives. But perhaps most importantly, an untrustworthy government can erode the social contract that holds societies together. When the citizens no longer believe that their leaders are acting in their best interests, they may become cynical, disengaged. This leads to a breakdown in social cohesion. This leads to a loss of faith in the democratic process itself. So while government is necessary and it is a vital part of our society, our modern society, it's important to recognize the dangers of too much government, the importance of maintaining public trust. As we explore this topic, we're going to go through a bunch of news headlines this evening. I invite you to join that conversation. Share your thoughts. How can we strike the right balance between the government's power and the citizens' trust? This is the AOG Podcast. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the AOG Podcast.
It's the AOG Podcast, episode number 9. We had the airing of grievances. We had President Trump on the show last week. Did a good job. We had comedian Jason Scoop. He played Donald Trump. He actually has his own Trump podcast. Maybe we're in a little bit of competition here, but it was great having Jason on the show. Excellent, brilliant comedian. So the government, the trust of the government. You know, we've got quite a few stories here. These top 3, and we're going to talk about the corruption with Alvin Bragg. But first, top 3 stories. Government overreach. Light bulb bans. This was after they just targeted our gas stoves. They lied to us about the Chinese spy balloon. And they keep spending so much damn money. Social Security is going to be depleted in 2033. It's a year earlier than they thought. So why is the Biden administration, why is the government continually reaching into our homes? Stay out. Stay out of our home. Just keep it safe. The U.S. Energy Department confirmed in recent days it is pressing ahead to begin enforcing a ban on August first on the manufacture and retail and the sale of most incandescent light bulbs. This is the latest measure to meet President Joe Biden's climate goals. Put that in parentheses because whatever we do as a country, whatever the United States of America does to meet these climate goals, it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter. I'm not denying the science. I'm not denying global warming. I'm not denying that the climate is changing. Listen, I haven't been on this earth long enough to tell you what the average temperature is supposed to be this time of the year in every location on the world. But I have been on this earth long enough to tell you that it doesn't matter. Studies show, statistics show, the data shows if the United States went 100% green, we're all screwed anyway. We're all screwed. And if you ask Al Gore, we would have been dead already. Back in the early 2000s. If you ask Greta Thunberg, we would have been dead already this year. Who's profiting? They just did this. By the way, this reverses a 2019 decision of the Trump administration. But I guess they reversed this incandescent light bulb ban. But we just targeted gas stoves. We just went through this with them a few weeks ago. Stacey Abrams took a job with someone trying to do this. I thought natural gas was the clean alternative. I know incandescent bulbs aren't as good as LED, right? But weren't they the better option than what was? Listen, folks, there's always going to be something better. There's always going to be something better. But stay out of my home. And while you're at it, stop worrying about what's inside my home and worry about what's in your home. The United States can't even keep other countries out of its home. You've got lands. You've got the contiguous 48 states. You've got Alaska and Hawaii. You've got the United States of America. February 16th. A little over a month ago, 2 months ago almost. February 16th, 2023. The Biden administration, Joe Biden himself said, we were able to protect the sensitive sites against collection from the Chinese spy balloon. And I'm not being racist because it's a Chinese spy balloon from China. February 16th. 2 days ago, they say the spy balloon was able to gather intelligence information from several sensitive military sites. That was reported across all news channels. But they told us they didn't collect sensitive information. Remember, folks, this was tracked off the Aleutian Islands. This was tracked as it went through Alaska. This was tracked as it started making its way across the entire country, and we shot it down off the coast of the Carolinas. It damn well got what it needed. Are we stupid? Do they think we're that stupid? Yeah, they do. The government thinks we're that stupid. If they didn't, they wouldn't be lying to us left and right. This has gotten so out of hand. This is ridiculous. I don't understand when this is going to stop. They're in our homes. They can't even control their government. They lie. All I know is they can't control what they do. They do a bad job at it. So we as Americans need to elect better people. And this is both sides. This is both sides. I'm not just harping on Biden here in the administration. This is Republicans too. And this we're going to talk about later. This is why they don't like Donald Trump. Both sides don't like Trump. He's exposing the real inner workings of what's going on in our government that we're being lied to. We're going to talk about the Trump indictment. We'll be right back.
Have you not been wearing a mask or social distancing? Did you recently attend a Trump rally? Then you or someone close to you is probably laying down. Hi, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO of MyPillow. No one should underestimate the value of a good rest. And I should know. When I was addicted to crack, passed out on a deserted street during a bender in Mexico, I realized this curb's doing zero favors for my neck. Then after talking directly to God and not myself, MyPillow was born. Years later, after a settlement for deceptive ads and an F from the Better Business Bureau, I'm a multi-millionaire. How? Because America! There's no problem that a pillow can't solve. Freebasing in an alley? You're gonna want my pillow. A woman wants to choose what she can do with her own body? That's gonna need a pillow. Wife left you in an ugly divorce? Use about 8 pillows. And if you vote Trump come November, you can get 2 of my pillows for the price of 2 of my pillows. Call my new number now.
And now back to the AOG Podcast.
And we are back. The AOG Podcast, episode number 9. We made it. So Social Security is going to be depleted a year earlier than they anticipated. And this number keeps coming closer and closer and closer every single year. A new report from the Biden administration's Treasury Secretary indicates that Social Security will begin to reach insolvency a lot sooner than predicted. This report came out on Friday. Treasury analysts predict that payments to retirees are going to be falling below the fulfillment level by 2033. This was 1 year earlier than previously predicted. If income into Social Security remains at the current levels, recipients will only receive 77% of their owed benefits beginning that year. But let's go ahead. Let's keep sending money to Ukraine. Let's keep spending money. Let's keep creating these new task force and all these different committees and all these different branches that fall under the government there, right? They all fall under Biden. These task forces. Why? We've spent $75 billion. I just want to say that. We've spent $75 billion on Ukraine. I see homeless all over Manhattan. I see migrants pouring into this country. Homeless all over San Francisco. We're going to talk about their problems in a minute. $75 billion to Ukraine. And we can't even take care of our own people. Talk about not even being able to take care of our own people and being lied to. The CDC was assessing the East Palestine, Ohio chemical exposure. A bunch of the CDC workers got sick. This is what all the locals were complaining about. We spoke about this for a good 2 or 3 weeks in a row on this show. 7 of the 15 CDC workers assessing East Palestine, the chemical exposure, got sick. They had symptoms including sore throats, mild headaches, coughing, nausea. Similar to the conditions documented by the locals. Similar to what they said on February 3rd after the derailment. President Biden made a trip. Wasn't to East Palestine. He went to Ukraine. Why are we obsessed with helping Ukraine so much? Listen, if you're for it, great. We should help, I guess. I don't really have an opinion on it. All I know is I lose a lot of money in taxes, and I know you do too. The amount of tax money I pay Represent us, Joe. Represent us, Kathy Hochul, charging us now 4% tax in New York for Netflix and Uber because she fell short on her budget for the MTA. That's not my problem. And I bet you all don't know, business owners in New York State had to shell out a surcharge. I got my bill a few months ago. A surcharge because they gave out too much unemployment money during COVID. Not my problem. Not your problem. Their problem. We elected them, and they're doing a terrible job. So you had East Palestine, Ohio. The government cares about us. It's safe. It's safe. We heard that after 9/11. Even Rosie O'Donnell and Trump agreed on that. 7 of the 15 workers, half of them got sick. But the water's okay. The air's okay. It's okay. Is it? And this is why they want to ban TikTok, because we're finding all this information out. This has nothing to do with China. China is getting every piece of information they need. They can just fly a spy balloon across the entire country. China doesn't need TikTok. You think China needs TikTok to spy on Americans? No, this administration's so stupid, they'll just send a spy balloon across the entire country while the administration lies to us. Talk about not being able to do your damn job. San Francisco, $290 million deficit. The San Francisco Chronicle said the city could collapse. Now, who lives there, right? San Francisco, California. This is the home of Nancy Pelosi, Governor Gavin Newsom, and cackling Kamala Harris. This is their role model for America. San Francisco's got all these great programs. It's got homeless everywhere, and they're shelling money out left and right. People are getting money left and right. And they have a $290 million deficit. Where's that money coming from? Where's that money? Well, we know where it's going. It's not going to the right places. It's not helping the homeless problem. It's not bettering your cities. California. $290 million. Just add it to the bill that the federal government has spent with Ukraine. $75 billion. Imagine what we could do in America with $75 billion. I'm actually going to do some quick math here. There are 331 million people in 2021 in the United States. 331 million. So, if we take 75 billion that we've given to Ukraine, and we have 331 million people, let's do some quick math. That would mean every person, let's see here, let's do some quick math. I want to see how much money we could get if we have that back in our country. It's not a lot, but it's money. Like $500, $1,000. We're throwing away this money. Now that's maybe you do per household. My point is, there's 123 million households in the U.S. That's probably a little bit better. Yeah, it's like $1,000 per household. But hey, let's give all that money to Ukraine. We don't need it. Americans don't need it. What do Americans need the money for? Just going to keep taxing them and taxing them and taxing them and taxing them. Everything keeps going up. Oil prices are soon rising worldwide. Saudi Arabia announced the cut of 500,000 barrels daily. How? Why? Well, it's just going to help Russia. So higher oil prices are going to help fill Putin's coffers as his country wages war on Ukraine and forces Americans and others to pay higher prices at the pump. Amid inflation fueled in part by this conflict. So Biden and his administration has called on Saudi Arabia and other allies to increase the production, to bring down prices and squeeze Russia's finances. But Saudi Arabia kind of said, F you, Joe. Remember when we were feared? Remember when America was a superpower? We are a laughingstock. We are a laughingstock. And now, I don't even understand it, but a lot of countries have stopped trading the US dollar. So what does that mean? It doesn't sound good to me. I'm not a finance person by any means, but they're not trading the US dollar. I mean, I guess that means the value of the dollar is not that strong. I don't understand it. We're screwed. You know things are bad when McDonald's is doing layoffs. A couple of days ago, April 2nd, you used to be able to just say, oh, I'll get a job at McDonald's if everything tanked. Well, McDonald's shut down its U.S. offices the other day temporarily. They are preparing for massive layoffs. So much for that Happy Meal. I don't get it. When are you going to get it? When are we going to get it that we are being lied to? No matter who we vote in office, no matter what side you're on, Republican, Democrat, Green Party, Tea Party, Purple Party, Blue Party, No Party, Independent Party, it doesn't matter. If you don't like Trump, that's fine. But he's one of the few that are exposing everything going on. So you had Trump indicted the other day. He was fingerprinted and went through the whole arraignment process. Now, I just want to walk through this with everyone here. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Donald Trump has 34 counts against him. Now, this could be for one thing, right? But because of the way the legal system works, you could take one thing and it can be broken up into like 5 or 6 counts, right? So 34 sounds like a big number. It's really not that many things, right? It's all minutia. DAs, they're not supposed to do that. They're advised not to. But look who we're dealing with here, right? A George Soros-funded Alvin Bragg. Alvin Bragg takes most felony charges and downgrades them to misdemeanors. Alvin Bragg takes this misdemeanor and upgrades it to a felony. Alvin Bragg wanted to charge someone the other day for defending themselves in Manhattan. This parking garage attendant had a gun pointed at him. There was a kerfuffle. The parking attendant got the gun and shot the guy. And Alvin Bragg said, "You're at fault." There was so much pressure on the DA's office that they dropped the charges. But what am I missing here? So Trump gave Stormy Daniels $130,000 in hush payment money. Whether this is true or not, I'm not arguing that. What I'm about to argue is this happened before the 2016 election. They're saying, oh, you should have used campaign funds. What? That's what they're saying. They're saying that Trump should have used campaign funds. He didn't use campaign funds. They're saying you should have. That's why this is all coming about. But it's okay that Hillary Clinton could pay for the fake Steele dossier, which caused years of turmoil, and she was able to settle this campaign violation by paying a $113,000 fine. She was never arrested. Bill Clinton sent Paula Jones $850,000 to settle that while in office, and it was all over the news back in the day. This is when he was in Arkansas. So why are there double standards? If you're going to charge Trump, go after Biden, go after everyone else, and I'm sure there's plenty of other Republicans too. Go after everyone. That's why I'm upset. That's why I'm angry. That's why I don't trust the government. And neither should you.